Hello, welcome to this week's 10 at 10. I'll kind of wait for introductions and whatnot and kind of let some people get in here. So this is kind of just something we do every week at 10 on Wednesdays. So yeah, we're going to give a little bit of time for people to kind of tune in and whatnot at first, but I guess I'll kind of start and introduce myself. I'm Spencer Koppel. I'm a digital specialist here at Key Media Solutions. And basically that means that I'm kind of just in platforms. So if you have an ad show up in front of you somewhere, it's somebody like me that's putting that in front of you. So.
And I'm Madison. I'm a digital specialist. Also kind of like Spencer, just put ads around, but I really focus, or a digital strategist. I forgot that's the I can
Yes.
consistently confuse the two. But I just really work hard to make sure that our clients' goals are achieved through different various campaigns. And we are back once again for a social media update.
Yep. I feel like
Mhm.
it's I mean monthly we've been doing them with just there's so much stuff with everything going on. Social media is always just a constantly evolving thing. I feel like it was never like this before. I felt like it was just kind of like, oh, Facebook has some new policy or whatnot, but nowadays it's like everyone has brand new tools coming out. Everyone has like weird stuff going on. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's. I think that it's amazing that we are doing our third update. I think about TikTok. It's
Yep.
probably more than that, but this is like the third official update. But yeah, I think that that's super new to be able to do or to be doing this many updates on one platform.
Yeah. No, I feel like definitely every month at least we say something about TikTok. But yeah, this is the seventh one where it's kind of just like some with the ban. It just kind of is a constant thing, and it's interesting.
My notes are not pulling up. If you want to start us off.
Yeah. So I'll
Okay.
start with the TikTok ban. I'll steal that from you.
Okay.
So the latest ban was extended to the 17th. And so I believe that's this month. So about a week from now, potentially, it'll be banned potentially. And so they haven't had any talks quite yet about extending that ban. As kind of what we mentioned before, this will be the third time that it's been extended. And we haven't really heard much about is it going to get extended again? Is it actually going to get banned? I think it was January 19th was the first time it was banned, and it actually was disabled for I believe it was like 24 hours, and it was a little bit of a panic going on. So kind of just seeing, they haven't said anything about extension happening again. Is it going to happen? Maybe. We don't know. I mean, this is the third time. I mean, what's the fourth, basically? And U.S. officials have stated that that ByteDance, which owns TikTok, they have not signed a deal. So TikTok will technically go dark unless it's extended. So we're kind of just in a little bit of a limbo right now to see, is it going to get extended? Is it going to get banned? Who knows at this point. It's just a constant thing that's kind of in the back of everyone's mind, basically on TikTok.
Yeah, I think that's coming up on the 17th is going to be the official like end date of the ban.
Mhm.
And yeah, like Spencer said, US officials are saying this is like no more. Are we going to continue the extension? Now's the time that we're going to do something about TikTok, but I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Spencer and I were Googling before we joined this to see how much of a $1 billion industry TikTok is in the United States. And it's a lot. And so I'm not sure if it'll be completely leaving, but
Yeah.
that's the quote nowadays is that this is the final ban on the 17th, but we'll
We will
we'll keep you
see.
updated on
But
how
yeah,
that goes.
definitely download your videos on TikTok if you have not already done that. If you have not saved your videos, who knows, they might go away on the 17th. Last time it happened, TikTok went down, and so did some other apps like CapCut, other things that are owned by ByteDance.
Mhm.
Just make sure you're downloading your stuff. If you haven't already downloaded your videos that you want to keep, get those
Mhm.
downloaded now just in case, because you really never know.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but that's yeah, and we don't know, like, it's such uncertainty that we've never seen before in a platform like this.
Mhm.
So we'll see. We'll keep you updated, but as of now, there's supposed to be the final ban on the 17th, and we will see. We'll see how
Yeah,
that goes.
we'll definitely update next month. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
we'll see you. Maybe we'll have a what's going on with TikTok part 4, or maybe we won't.
yeah.
We're not sure. Yeah.
But yeah, so going into some other fun social media related news, we're starting to introduce some new tools called the App Power Pack, which is kind of just a tool for digital marketers, kind of like us. So these are new placements and whatnot. One is called Sponsored Snaps, which actually puts ads on the person's inbox itself. So like if you're Snapchatting your friend, the ad itself would pop up there. If you use Snapchat, you probably have seen those a bunch. I think those started rolling out early last year or late last year. Those are starting to get a little bit more open to the public and open to everyone else. Usually before it was kind of just a little like niche. You had to have a very high budget to do those. That's why you would see like McDonald's, like just big companies that were able to access it. Now it seems like most people are able to use it, which is kind of cool to see. And then some other things with that app Power Pack is app end cards, which basically just has previews of like your website or previews of like shopping, basically just a little bit more interactive for Snapchat as a platform. And then playable ads, which other apps have that, but Snapchat's starting to introduce that, which basically just lets you play games on Snapchat, which can be kind of a cool tool. It's just very involved basically to get that. But yeah,
I feel like the influence of advertising in those too will come eventually, in some of those games and stuff that they're kind of rolling out. Yeah.
I don't even know what the process would be for doing that though. Like that, yeah, that's just definitely a can of worms. It's just interesting that there's stuff like that happens, and it's just, where to even start with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of newness, a lot of frontier that we'll figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm. And then continuing a little bit with some new tools, Google is introducing, I think they just call it image to video. It's through their AI called Veo 3. Which basically just lets you take a still image and you're able to generate a video, like a product video based on it. So it basically just makes your still photos a lot more interactive. So instead of just having, just a static image, you can have a 3D video of your product, which kind of does help. And it's nice to have those kind of tools where, if your budget is a little constrained and you don't have, you can't get video of your product, it's kind of cool to be able to have AI that is able to fill in those gaps.
And that's something that we've noticed as well on a lot of platforms. Whenever they're rolling out some of that new like media or new, it's good to take advantage of that or like to try out some of those new different formats because I think the platform will push whatever you're serving and like if you're trying out their new, yeah.
So. It definitely can be hit or miss. I've tried it a few times and it's getting there.
They want you to try it out, but it's not always gonna, it's a guess and test, yeah. So another thing that I thought was kind of cool is that LinkedIn is really having a moment, like kind of we've talked about Reddit in the past, kind of having a little bit of a come up, but LinkedIn is experiencing like record high levels of impressions and activity. And so we just wanted to share that with people to let them know that there's over 1.2 billion active members a day on LinkedIn, which I think is like astronomical to what it used to be maybe like a year ago even. And within that, so we read a study by Buffer that it's interesting because this is something that I think happens often in early days of platforms, but the number one recommendation is post frequency. Like posting 6 to 11 times a day is what this study says will give you LinkedIn success. And I think it's notable because that's what they used to say about Facebook, like earlier, you used to always have to post all the time on Facebook.
Yep.
I don't think that is as relevant anymore, but in sort of the early days of new like user buy-in, post frequency really matters. And that's what they're saying now it is relevant for LinkedIn. So if you're on LinkedIn, post frequency is super important. I think that quality of your post is more important than frequency. But yeah, that's what the studies say is that 6 to 11 times on a week on LinkedIn. So take that with a grain of salt, as you will.
Yeah, no, you definitely, and you see like trends like that where definitely with like Facebook and stuff is, I feel like the less is more is starting to kind of become a thing where the less you post, the more engagement you get. If you kind of spam post, then it kind of diminishes it. But it's kind of just interesting how each platform has its own. Where like, LinkedIn, it's like, just post a whole bunch, please.
The study was more so about like you have more opportunity to be seen, and so your frequency could inherently get higher if you post more.
Makes
but
sense.
I think we're always at Key Media Solutions, we're always way more about like quality over quantity. So that's, I feel like that's a grain of salt, that is study that you have to take. But yeah, I think it's cool. I think LinkedIn in the last year is experiencing a way new resurgence.
Yeah. No, I like
Especially.
LinkedIn as a platform for advertising too. I think the tools that they have are really nice. Um,
Mhm,
I think they have a lot of stuff going for them.
mhm. And then the final thing that I wanted to mention, not super social media related, but I do think it's really important for like the tech slash media world, is that Meta is rolling out a new version of their wearable glasses. They're trying to compete with the newest version that's going to come out soon of Apple's Provision, I think is what it's called, right? The Apple
Yeah, yep.
Provision, whatever the new name of that is. But the Meta glasses we've been seeing on social media really kind of taking storm. Like I think there was really, really low buy-in originally for the Meta glasses, but now I see a lot of different content creators filming content on the Meta glasses, and we're gonna they're trying to, it sounds like, come out with a new version prior to Apple announcing their new glasses. And I just think that has a lot of new applications for social media, for content, for
Mhm.
consent, all those things. So
Yeah.
just be on the lookout for both Apple and Meta glasses. We'll see what we get.
And Google Glass, we'll see if they come back ever and go something like
Oh my
2012
God, I
or
forgot. Yeah, I forgot
2016.
about
Yeah.
this.
It's so weird
Mhm.
because everyone was like, yeah, these aren't ever going to take off. But now they were just ahead of the curve.
Yeah, and eventually, like way down the line, ads will be a part of that that
Mhm.
implication of like we'll start to use glasses for a while, and eventually you'll probably get ads
Yep.
someday on those.
Like
So
that's something that's always been on the horizon with the AR and VR is there's always been that
mhm,
kind of like, when are ads going to come to it, that kind of stuff. That honestly could be almost a 10 out of 10, just kind of talking about AR and VR implementations of ads and stuff like
different
that.
ads. Yeah, so that's kind of what I want to mention it now because I think that will be an implication in the ad world soon. So
Yep.
keep our eyes on that. Yeah. We're sorry we don't have better answers, especially for the TikTok. That's we'll keep you updated on that. But that's kind
Yeah.
of I think the gist for now.
Yep. Cool. Well, if you guys have any comments about anything we talked about today or any comments about anything we talk about in any of our 10 at 10s, feel free to comment those. It can even be after the fact once this is posted. If you have any recommendations about something you want to know about, that could be its own dedicated 10 at 10. Leave it in the comments and we'll get to it. Or at least we'll have somebody on our team, we'll get to it. And yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much